All right, guys, it's 2026, man. It's time to delete Instagram. So I actually deleted Instagram about 3 weeks to a month ago, and honestly, it's one of the best decisions so far I think I've made in a while. I'll get a little bit more into that later in the video, but I just wanted to talk about the first time I ever actually had Instagram to begin with. I first got Instagram back in 2012, from what I remember, and from what I've looked up, Instagram came out, I think, around 2010 or so. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just put up a screenshot of what Instagram I think looked like, or from what I remember looked like when I first got it. And as you can see, it's extremely basic compared obviously to what it is today. And trust me, when I first got Instagram back in that time, I freaking loved it, man. I think because I was about 12 or 13 at the time and I just gotten into middle school. So obviously there's all these people to talk to now, a lot more than my elementary school had. And it was cool to have this app that not only you could post photos of, but you could keep up with, basically everybody at school and see what they were doing. And I just loved how basic it was. It was just posting pictures that you wanted to, seeing what your friends and maybe even your family at the time had to post as well, and then just continuing on with your day. Because I specifically remember Instagram, and maybe you guys do too, but Instagram, the feed section used to end when you had seen all of your friends or families, whoever actually you were following. Once you had seen all their posts, Instagram, I remember just the page wouldn't load anymore. It would just end. It was just done. And all you could do at that point was just log off. There was nothing else to do. Now, I think it always somewhat had like a news tab or a discover section, but it really wasn't pushed that much. And I don't think most people ever use it. Like, I didn't really care about any famous people and what they were doing at the time. I really only wanted the Instagram to see what people were doing at my high school and sometimes to see what my family was doing as well. But now, man, I log into that app and I know the layout's still good and it's still somewhat basic, but I just can't even keep up anymore. There's just so much going on right when you open the app, man. First of all, you got all the posts from the people you follow, then you have the Reels and Discover tab or whatever it's called. And never mind even navigating the settings. I remember the settings used to be so basic. It was like one small page. Now when I open the settings or edit profile, whatever it's called, there's just like you can scroll down for a long time going through all the different settings that you can edit. And that's cool. And I understand people use it for business and, for their branding. I'm not even bashing the app. I'm not even saying it's a horrible app. I still think it's really good. I'm just saying it's not what it used to be. That's for damn sure. And it's not what I used to enjoy. It doesn't have what I used to enjoy about it. As you can see from that original screenshot, it just had some novelty and simpleness to it. And Instagram and a lot of these social media apps in general, it used to be apps that you would just, probably log onto if you were a normal person that wasn't just sitting in their mom's basement. You'd probably log onto it only for maybe 15 or 30 minutes here and there, maybe once or twice a day. I don't remember as a teenager spending hours and hours and hours on Instagram because, like I said before, there wasn't that much that it had to offer you. So it was just an enjoyable little tool, a little, entertainment, a little escape from the day. But now, as you guys know, it's all about retention times, watch times, and you can scroll on Instagram Reels forever. Basically, it's endless. Or you just scroll on Instagram in general. I don't even know. But these apps had the original idea of just to be a novelty, to share and keep in touch with people. And now it's just become another drug, basically, an endless loop of quick dopamine hits, and just meant to grab as much of your time as possible. But getting back to my main thing that I talked about earlier was I deleted Instagram, and I have not felt this much better in a long time, guys. Now, I'm not saying my life totally changed and everything's amazing now. It's raining freaking money and gold down on me and every day is bliss. But honestly, I was spending way too much time on those apps. And I think I'm a somewhat disciplined person, but even still, I just, my mind would wander, and next thing you know, I'd just be scrolling. Like, have you guys ever just been scrolling, even though in your mind you're like, I don't really want to be doing this right now. Like, I don't even really care about what I'm looking at, but you just keep doing it? Or this is a common one I see too, and I've felt it myself. Any moment that you get a small, break where you're not doing anything, say you're waiting in line for something, or your friends are just hanging out, but you're not part of the conversation, or you're even just bored for half a second. The first thing most people do is open up their phone, hop on one of these apps, and just their attention goes right into whatever they're watching. They just start consuming. Because having not gone on there now for a while and having the app deleted, I felt my attention span and, somewhat brain fog, as they call it, has pretty much gone away. Well, my attention span hasn't gone away. Let me reword that. My attention span has gotten better, I should say. Instead of distracting myself with some app, I'll actually, figure things out in my mind that I've been thinking about for a while, or stuff I need to figure out, or kind of do some planning in my head of how I want my day to go or my week to go. And I think that is way more productive, guys, than wasting your life away, just scrolling on Instagram Reels. And most of the time, this is nothing important, anyways. I'm not gonna lie, there's some funny Instagram Reels which I loved to send to my friends and I love to get from my friends. There's some hilarious ass stuff on there. But to be honest, guys, it's all useless. Like, not much of the stuff on there is really useful. You know, Instagram Reels probably isn't making a lot of people better. It's probably not achieving a lot of people's goals that they set out to make. And that's fine if you just use it as a small entertainment source and a small escape from your day-to-day life. But for me personally, it was taking up too much of my time. And anytime I had a break, I just felt the need to go scroll on Instagram for no reason. And I could have left the app on my phone and just, you know, opened it here and there and, you know, built that discipline. But I thought it was just easier to go ahead and delete it. Now I don't even have to see it, don't even have to worry about it. The other thing now, as I've gotten into my later 20s, is I don't really even care what's going on with most of the people's lives that I follow. And that might sound rude or selfish, but I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, let's be honest. Just think about how many like real friends that you have, or how many people you really keep up with. And now think about all the people you follow on Instagram that you either don't really talk to anymore, or you really just don't even, you have no relevance or context of what's going on in their life. And it's great that some of these people are traveling around and getting married and doing all these great things for their lives. But I honestly just don't really care. All the people that I want to keep in touch with, I'm already in touch with through other forms of media. My closest friends and family members, I keep up with either through phone call or text message, or just visiting them and talking to them in person and going out and actually doing stuff. But my biggest takeaway from this, guys, is I think deleting Instagram, if you're really on the fence about it and you know that it takes up a lot of your time, like you just can't help yourself but, you know, hop on Instagram Reels or just hop on Instagram in general, any break or any second you get, go ahead and delete it. But as I've gotten older, I've just started to value my time more. And I have obviously goals, like many people do and most people do, that I want to spend the majority of my time working towards. But I've also become comfortable with just being bored. But just sitting down for a few minutes and just thinking, not really focused on anything, not trying to grab my attention with any quick freaking flashy things on the screen or instant dopamine and gratification through whatever meaningless app, you know. I felt that it's created more time for myself, but also I felt like I could enjoy long form content again. That's another big thing, guys. Like, how many people do you know, or are you one of these people that just can't enjoy long form content anymore? I've started now to get into long form content on YouTube, which I enjoyed originally. That was the original reason I went on YouTube. But a few weeks ago, if you asked me to watch a 40, 20, 30-minute video on YouTube, I'd be like, oh my God, that's such a long time. You know, the reels just ruin your attention span. Or sometimes people put on a YouTube video or a long form content video, and then while they're sitting there watching that video, they're also on the, you know, Instagram Reels or some other bullshit. And who knows what that does to your attention span, man. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I have no idea. But it just can't be good, you know. I think we all feel a sense of relief when we're just not on our phone for a few days or just not on our phone for a while. When you're just out hanging with friends, you're not worried about social media. You're not worried about emails and videos and keeping up with this bullshit. You're just enjoying the moment. And that's what I want to do more of in my life in general, but moving forward for sure. But anyway, guys, that's just my 2 cents on the topic. Tell me in the comments what you guys think. I also hope you guys are having a good new year as it's 2026. I just want to say thank you because we have 10 subscribers last time I checked, and I appreciate you guys so much. Last video I uploaded, I think we only had like 3 or 4, so 10 is insane. I really appreciate when you guys comment. I really like reaching out to you guys and having a conversation. That's what this channel, to me, is really about, just sharing my thoughts and seeing what the world thinks. And if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more, please go ahead and subscribe, send me a like. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Peace out.